I'd like to welcome you all for coming. Thanks, Wade. I was going to mention that we are going to record this as well, so it's going to be online for future use as well. But I want to welcome everyone for coming. Thank you for coming to the press event today. We're going to run through it. I've got a bit of a statement to make. We'll have some speakers comment as well, and then we'll open up for some Q&A at the end as well. So for those that don't know who I am, my name is Steve Antunes. I'm the Manager of Economic Development here at the municipality. And I'll do one last sound check. Mr. Armstrong, you can hear me okay?
I can hear you indeed, yes. Perfect,
thank you. I'll start with the gentleman on the screen and I'll work my way across. So the gentleman on the screen is Mr. Jim Armstrong. Some might know him as Jamie Armstrong. Sean Hurd, I'm looking over the crowd from Rotary. We've got Ms. Ewald from Elnas. We've got Chantel Robert from the figure skating or this Elliott Lake Skating Club. We've got a whole pack from minor hockey. And then of course we have Councillor Flintoff, Mayor Wannen, Councillor Bull, Councillor Seidel, and Mr. DiBertoli behind me. So to start off, essentially what the press conference is we're here to announce a fundraising program for repairs to the Centennial Arena. This initiative started with a call and a reach out from Mr. and Mrs. Jamie Armstrong, who are former Elliott Lake residents. They contacted us mid-February wanting to make a donation towards the Centennial Arena, and from there the discussion was born on what we can do. We reached out to our colleagues from the not-for-profits here in town, Minor Hockey, the Elliott Lake Skating Club, Rotary, and Elnas, to help pick up the torch, offer some input on what we can do, and they picked up the torch and they ran with it. They've been fantastic colleagues up to this point. And now they are actually our challenge committee. So they are going to be running this endeavor going forward. To kick off the campaign, it all started, as I said, with a thought from Mr. Armstrong, who reached out. I've had the pleasure of communicating with him several times. He's probably sick of seeing my emails and hearing my voice, but he's a wonderful gentleman, grew up here in Elliott Lake, and really wanted to kickstart the program. He had a lot of history in Centennial Arena, which he'll certainly share with us. But the important thing is, and I want you to help me recognize that to start the campaign, Mr. Armstrong, Mr. and Mrs. Armstrong are donating over $300,000 to the campaign. So to recognize their donation, we're actually, in honor of that, we are naming the campaign the Jamie and JoAnn Armstrong Centennial Arena Repair Fundraising Challenge. So it's very exciting. They're a big part of starting this, and we're glad we're able to recognize them that way. Through absolutely no fault of my own, we did have a large banner that is going to be posted at Centennial Arena, and that banner will show the progress as we go through. The goal of the fund is to raise $500,000 for Centennial Arena repairs. And again, we are starting with a large chunk up at the front of $300,000. Unfortunately, today there was a fire at the sign company and our banner was inside the building. So nothing to do with me. God himself did not want me to have this banner today. So we are hoping to have it next week. It will be posted prominently at Centennial Arena. We're going to have it on the fence facing 108. And as we chunk our way along, we are going to add sections to the ice. And when the ice fills up, we've hit our goal. And if we go past that, we'll put a second pad on there. We'll keep going. So the more money that comes in, the better. So the committee that's here together, as I said, it's Elliott Lake Minor Hockey, the Elliott Lake Skating Club, Rotary, and Elnas. We'll be putting together events to fundraise until late August, possibly in early September. So any groups that want to be involved or want to host an event for the Jamie and JoAnn Armstrong Centennial Arena Fundraising Challenge, the committee here will be glad to work with you, and you can reach out to them through elliottlakeMinorHockey@gmail.com, and the group is meeting together to facilitate any events they're going to go through. We did set up a website. We made it as easy as possible for you, anyone that wants to make a donation online or wants to find out more information about the challenge itself. You can visit elliottLake.ca/arena donation. So again, elliottLake.ca/arena donation. There's a No, it's not just the sign anymore he doesn't want me to do. There's some great information on there about the challenge. There's a biography of Mr. and Mrs. Armstrong on there. There's some pictures of them. There's a great picture of the two of them on the site, and some history about the great work that they've done. I know Mr. Armstrong is very modest, but both him and Mr. Armstrong have contributed to a lot of charitable endeavors, and it was touching to read his biography, his and her biography in there, the amount of work that they've done and the good that they've done, not just for Elliott Lake, but communities all over North America. So I will stop talking from there. I'm actually going to hand it off first to Mayor Waddington to make a quick statement.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Or I guess it's afternoon. Thank you, Steve. I'd just like to start by thanking my Uncle Mike and Aunt Cher. That's the connection to Jim. And it was within 24 hours, we had set up a meeting over the phone. I'd never met Mr. Armstrong, but I believe we hit it off right away on the phone. And the genesis of this endeavor started then. It's perfect timing to pick up from Craft Hockeyville and having someone that grew up and is from Elliott Lake and to reach out and still have attachments here. It's just tremendous and amazing. And can't thank Mr. Armstrong and Mrs. Armstrong, Jim and JoAnn enough. Thank you guys. I saw a lot of you at the Collins Hall that night. What an exciting night, right? Fun to be part of something really good, even though it was a tough year with hockey. To our figure skating club, to our minor hockey club, to Rotary, thank you for helping out with getting this rolling. And we are asking for donations. So keep up the spirit, Elliott Lake. Let's keep this going. Ride the wave. It's been said a few times. And I'd just like to thank once again, Mr. Armstrong, and let's have another round of applause.
Thank you, JoAnn. Now I want to pass it off to the man of the hour, Mr. Armstrong. Love the opportunity for you to say a few words and talk a bit about what made you want to step back and donate back to Elliott Lake.
Well, thanks, Stephen. And you said earlier that you were wondering about how much I enjoyed the conversations with you, and indeed I do. In fact, people that know me will know that I like to ramble on about things. So I'll try and keep this short, but I see all those kids in the front row there, and kudos to the kid. I can't see you very well, but I can see that you've got a Calgary Flame shirt on there. And I was a Calgary Flame fan for years when I lived in Calgary. So good for you. When I heard that when I heard about this Hockeyville thing, I was quite impressed with the effort that you guys all put into it. I've been following whoever it is that's posting the Vikings thing on Facebook. I've been following that for a while. And I also follow a group called People Who Used to Live in Elliott Lake. So, you know, you can get a pretty good flavor for the disappointment that people in the town had not having a hockey rink. But I got to tell you guys, when I was a kid, you know, and you're going to hear this a lot when you're a kid, right? When I was a kid, but we used to play on outdoor hockey rinks. That's all we had. I played on the one at Central School, which was right in my backyard. We even spent time down in the lake, shoveling off the lake and playing there. And when we got the hockey rink in, I think it was 1967 or 1968, we just thought it changed the nature of the whole town. So when I heard that the hockey rink had been condemned and was no longer usable, I thought, you know, this is a disaster of biblical proportions. And I thought that we needed to do something to help out. And we've been looking, we run a charitable foundation here based on the success of success that I've had in business. And we spend most of our time these days working on our charity, which is focused primarily on educational issues, scholarships and that sort of thing. But not having a hockey rink in a small town in Northern Ontario is just not something that is proper. So when I saw the success you had with Hockeyville, I thought, you know, we can step up and help with this. So that's why we did it, and we're glad we did it, and we're really looking forward to see what happens with this campaign. And I challenge the the folks that live in Elliott Lake, the people who used to live in Elliott Lake, and all of the businesses to step up and make this happen.
Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. I'll pass it over to our community groups, the challenge committee. Anyone have any comments? Anyone want to say anything? Oh, Amanda's used to talking in front of a camera now, so she's
not good at this. I just want to say thank you, Mr. Armstrong, to you and your wife for this generous donation. Over the Hockeyville event, it was amazing to see the community spirit and how we came together to rally and really get people to vote and hear our story. So I think this campaign is really gonna be successful. I'm hopeful. And we are looking forward to hearing people's ideas on what you think we should do to try and raise some funds. And we'll have a donation coming shortly from a couple of us, but stay tuned for that next week. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to taking that press release and sending it out to everyone I know that used to live in Elliott Lake or still does, and I will do my best to pressure them into making a donation.
anything from the rest of the groups? No? All right. Well, I do have to. I do want to say that thank you to these groups again. When I made the call out, and this was a project that we started, and the not-for-profits that were involved, I made a phone call, and every meeting, every call, every email, this group's been fantastic and very supportive. So I'm very thankful to that for helping to take the initiative. So from there, we'll open it up to questions from media or anyone in the gallery, from Mr. Armstrong, for the groups, for members of council, or Mr. DiBertoli, and we can go from there. Oh, you're gonna make my job real easy today. Well, that's great. If you do have any questions, I almost so close.
Come up to the mic.
Yes, please.
Hi, Jamie, how are you?
Hi.
I just want to extend an invitation to you and JoAnn that if you have a chance to come and visit Elliott Lake, come and see us. We'd love to see you.
Okay,
for
great.
now.
I will.
Sure, can you come up to the mic, Angela? That way, Mr. Armstrong, I don't think we can pick up from back there.
I'll have to run back to the camera.
No problem. Mr. Armstrong, this is Angela Gemmell from CTV News.
Hello.
Hi
I'm
there.
just wondering if you could tell us a memory or a story that you have from your time, you know, whether it's playing hockey or skating at Centennial Arena.
Well, sure, I can do that. I actually have a memoir that I wrote, and the first part of it is Memories of Elliott Lake. And you know, you'll see a whole bunch of stories that I included in there. My memories are unfortunately getting stuck out in the middle of the wilderness on a snowmobile in the middle of the winter. I have plenty of those memories.
You froze there for a second.
You froze up a bit there, Mr. Armstrong. Did you want to run the last few moments again through?
Yeah, it's happening on my end too here. Yeah, like I say, but my memories of Elliott Lake, and I mean, you know, I lived there for all of my all the way through primary school, all the way through high school. I have many memories of adventures that we've had out there. But the most harrowing adventures I ever had weren't actually on the hockey rink, although I do remember getting hit a lot, not just by the puck, but by other hockey players. But I spent a lot of time on snowmobiles, and my most harrowing adventures were getting stuck out in the wilderness when my skidoo broke down, you know, 10 miles out of town, and not knowing what to do because the snow was 3 feet deep, and somehow surviving and still being here today to talk about it.
That's great, Mr. Armstrong. Thank you. So if there's no other questions, again, any groups, anyone looking to put together a fundraising program or project for the Jamie and JoAnn Armstrong Centennial Repair Fundraising Challenge, can reach out to elliottlakeMinorHockey@gmail.com. Anyone that's watching that's looking to coordinating any interviews or getting statements, you can certainly reach out to me at edo@elliotlake.ca. Thank you all very much for coming. I appreciate it, and dig into those wallets and start making some donations. Thank you all very much.
Take care.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. Thank you, Mr. Armstrong. We'll be in touch a little later on today or Monday.
Okay, Dave,
Yes.
take care.
Yeah. The attempt was made. That's all that matters.